As the final buzzer sounded on the Pistons' 2023 season, two die-hard fans, Mickey and Harry, each passed out and witnessed a vision. They were visited by Detroit's very own mascot, Hooper, the stallion ablaze, who told them the only way the Pistons would ever win a championship again was if these two men started a podcast. To be clear, they said, do we really have to do this? I mean, aren't there enough Pistons podcasts already? It seems like this might be overkill. But Hooper dunked on them, right in their face, and said, your team needs you. He presented them with a prophecy. Now it is their duty to help Detroit rise again and become champions. The Order of the Blazing Horse. Welcome to another wonderful episode of The Order of the Blazing Horse. Before I even get to that, you don't know what this podcast is? This is the only podcast about the Detroit Pistons based on a mystical prophecy. Okay, we can't leave that out. I'm Harry. I'm one of those prophets. I'm joined, as always, by my main co-prof.
Mickey, the other co-prophet. That's it.
Mickey Jake's in the builds. What's up, dog?
What's up? What's up, Harry? How you doing, man?
Well, you know, I'm chilling. I'm doing good. I'm chilling here. It's very chilling. Snow on the ground. Negative. Not negative unless you're in Celsius, but we're under 20 degrees outside, which has been pretty fun.
Yeah.
But also well rested with a big break from Pistons basketball. How have you been, man?
I've been good. Good. Glad to be back in California. Had a nice visit in Michigan, but yeah, it was cold. It was chilly. It was a harsh reminder.
Well, I mean, the other part of that harsh reminder is you and I went to the Philadelphia 76ers against the Pistons game, which was a harsh wake-up call for the Pistons, who apparently didn't get a wake-up call at all because they were on the tarmac until like 4 a.m. or something. Rough stuff for them. But, you know.
Yeah, Cade was a late scratch. It was a tough game. But we had fun.
We did. We had a good time as a whole. I got to hang with your parents. That was neat. You got to hang with Baloney Parker. That was pretty cool on your part as well.
It's great to see Alex again. I mean Baloney.
Alex Baloney Parker. Clown. If you don't know him, you can go back in the archives and check it out. But like I said, it's been a while since we've been on the podcast. It's been 2 weeks. We had a little vacation, a little Thanksgiving time off for us, and it's been a long time since the Pistons have played basketball as well. Their last game being a decimation of the New York Knicks at Madison Square Garden. Cade Cunningham triple-double in it. Just a killer performance, man. And off of a game that they played okay against Boston, I suppose. Nothing killer, but not too bad.
I got to stop you right there, though, because we actually had a little chat off the pod before the Knicks game. And speaking of profit, all of your predictions came true. You predicted Cade's triple-double.
I did.
You predicted the win.
Did do that.
What else? Was that it?
I said one of the core four would play bad. So you can take that however you want to take it.
That's 3 for 3, unfortunately, fortunately.
I also said I'd have 2 glasses of tea, which I did. That my dogs would go outside at a crucial moment, which, of course, they did. And the one I got wrong is I said Ivy was going to have 20-plus points. He only had 16, but he came pretty close. It was a good prediction day for me, though. I was pretty psyched.
Morostradamus.
More Nostradamus. Emphasis on the nose with this guy. But yeah, we were, and you. I think your predictions were right as well, because you asked me about turnovers. You're like, I feel like it's going to be a turnover every game, which it was. And
right.
You had another one. I can't remember what it was, but it was spot
I predicted a Duran bounce back game.
Oh, did you?
And that was debatable.
No shade to Duran. He could use a bounce back season at this point. He won't have it tonight, unfortunately, when we're facing off against the Boston Celtics. Duran apparently is injured with a wrist sprain, so he's a late add to the injury report. But on the other side, Boston does not have Jason Tatum, thank God. He just scored 30 points in his previous 7 games against us, absolutely tore it up. And they don't have Sam Hauser, who also tore it up against us last time. So one less three-point shooter for Boston is good when you're looking at the grand scheme of things, because that's what they do. They kill you on the threes. They shoot more threes than anybody, and they make a ton of threes. Do you have any predictions about this game, or do you have any things that you're looking for during this game?
I do, yeah. I think there's some interesting developments. So the last time we played the Celtics, it was looking really bad.
Oh, yes.
And then they were able to bring it within 4 at a certain point, 4 points, 6 points. They actually made it really interesting for a second there. And we didn't have Asar. So in theory, Asar will be playing today. And I'm curious, who do you want Asar guarding? I know the Pistons kind of switch up everything, but if he could just zero in on one guy, is it Brown?
It's Brown.
Is it Pritchard?
It's Brown.
Kristaps?
It's Brown hands down. Brown has torn us up
Brown
the
hands
last two
down.
games. I think he's got 28 and 26 points against us in the last 2. He's always killing it, and I would love to see Asar matched up on his skill set because one game he was nailing threes. In the last game he wasn't hitting threes and he was driving. I think Asar's perimeter defense can really put a stop to that. And I would also like to just see how Asar's presence helps out in general with him being back. Because what's plagued the Pistons against three-point shooting teams in the past, not as big a problem against New York, but in the previous game against Boston, the previous game against the Bucks, and before that, the first game against Boston, they're leaving people wide open from 3. And I know it's like a situation with like their bigs having to like drop back and also like having to, double up on people and to switch over, and the ball just gets rotated more quickly than people can get rotated. But when you have Asar in the mix, maybe they can put a stop to that because Boston's going to shoot a ton of threes. They shot 53 last game, 48 the game before that against the Pistons. Made 21 or 23 and 21 respectively. But if they're still going to shoot threes, I just don't want them to be open. And with Sam Hauser out, that's great. Less of him shooting threes. And on the flip side of that, in the world of threes, I want to see this uptake that the Pistons have been doing in the three-point shooting. In the first game they played against Boston, they shot 13 of 34 from 3 as opposed to Boston's 22 of 48, which is, nuts. And the second game, they shot 20 of 39. That's way better. You make 23s, Boston makes 21 threes, way closer. Keep it in that way. And I feel like against New York, they were nailing threes. I mean, Cunningham in the last 2 games, 14 and 15 assists? And part of that is because Malik's going crazy. Tobias is hitting. Jaden Ivey hits from 3. When players are able to hit from 3, that's the way the NBA is going right now. And if you want to beat the best team in the NBA, which is Boston, that's how you do it.
Totally. Yeah, I'm also interested to see the big matchup. I think Stu on Kristaps, I think he's got a better chance of locking him down than Duren would. No offense, JD. And I'm hoping for some good B-ball Paul minutes. He's gonna have a big opportunity not in garbage time. So that should be fun. I think his fundamentals are solid. Who's he going to be guarding? Is it Tillman?
Xavier Tillman. Is that another backup? I mean, probably also some Horford time on there.
Horford, yep.
So
it's just tough because like all the Celtics can shoot.
Yeah, but
Horford can shoot.
But we're also
everyone.
The plus side of B-Ball Paul and Beef Stew is that those guys are maybe more able to cover on the perimeter than Duren is. So
definitely,
fingers crossed that works out. Fingers crossed the star can stop Brown. And also, fingers crossed we get another big game from Cade. We get another big game from Beasley. And we need a third person to show up big, too. In the last couple times we played them, Tobias has showed up, Ivy showed up. But it'd be nice if we could get both of them to show up and really score some points over there. And it'd be nice to not turn the ball over as much. Did you share the stat? You got to share the stat with our viewing audience about our turnover issues here, man, because it's absolutely insane to me.
Yeah, we all know that Cade has a high number of turnovers, but he also has a lot of usage. Turns out Jalen Duren is number 2 in the league in turnover percentage, and Isaiah Stewart is 10th, and Jaden Ivey is number 30. So that's like what? Like 4 of our players in the top 50% of turnoveringest players. So yeah. Hoping for less of those today. And I really hope tonight's the night that we can make Jaylen Brown regret saying that they just run and stuff through their bench when they play teams like us because we're not that good. I thought we scared him a little bit last game by bringing it making it close.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe this game we finally get our revenge.
I want to see our bench have something to say against their starters, too. Like you brought up Asar before and Paul Reed. I also want to see Ron Holland and Sasser out there because those guys are a menace on defense. Like Sasser, in the last time he played Boston, had 3 steals in like limited minutes and put up some points. So hopefully we get to see some of him. Hopefully we get to see some Ron Holland energy. I feel like his energy and his efforts always like blowing up the other team. So fingers crossed it goes well. And like I mentioned before, we really need a big game from Cade Cunningham. He's been on an absolute tear. Put on a showcase performance at Madison Square Garden last game he played with a career high in assists, 15, after the game he just had a career high in assists, which was 14. He's a triple-double machine. He's
3 turnovers that game.
3 turnovers. That's wild.
Love it.
3 turnovers to 15 assists is 5-to-1 ratio. That's killer.
Yeah.
He's number 3 in the league in assists right now. He's, I think, top 25 in points.
Behind Jokic and Trey?
Crazy.
Is that right?
Yeah, I believe that's correct. That's
good company.
Nuts. I think only he's like one of the triple-double leaders. I know in the NBA, his stocks are doing well. When we're talking about like all-star guards in the East, who are we looking at, really? It's like Brunson, I suppose, but Cade has more assists per game. Okay, so the Dame conversation is interesting because he plays with Giannis, who's Hall of Famer and a potential MVP candidate this year. You also got Brook Lopez on that team. I believe he's averaging like just a point more than Cade is a game. He's averaging like 4 fewer rebounds. He's averaging 2 fewer assists per game. His field goal percentage overall is worse than Cade's. His 3-point percentage is worse than Cade's, and his stocks are way worse than Cade's. So who's really the all-star out of those two?
I hear you, but I feel like record has such a big impact on all-star voting. I feel like if we've learned anything from the past couple of years, that always or rookie of the year, all that stuff, I feel like record is so important. But like to that point, I think LaMelo, who's having an incredible year, I think he's averaging like 30 plus points and a good amount of rebounds and assists, but we're winning more games than him and he hasn't played as much. So I think if it was between someone like that and Cade, I would hope that Cade would get the bump just because he is turning around what was a record, not breaking, but tying bad season last year. So I'm hopeful. I think he can keep it up. And to the assist to turnover thing, it was around this time last year that he cleaned up the turnovers, like 25 games in. And hopefully last game was kind of a benchmark turning point for that this season. Because, yeah, if he can do anything close to what he did against the Knicks moving forward, it's going to be pretty great.
Phenomenal. And, like, he's had these moments in, like, showcasey scenes. Like, the Madison Square Garden triple-double is a huge statement. The block in the basket against Atlanta was a huge moment. Like, he's on people's mind. People are talking about him. And again, the other guards that we can talk about as far as All-Star goes, Dame, Brunson, I think he's having a better year than Maxey with a better record than Maxey.
Right.
Probably Garland or Mitchell, but it's only going to be one of those two. And he's having a better year than Halliburton. I don't know who else guard-wise, like in the East, is really somebody who can compete. So fingers crossed he gets it. We know one way that he can do it, though, is if he starts getting free throws like other players in the NBA typically do. And when we were at the Philadelphia game, we witnessed some insane way of getting free throws because players flop. It's like a fucking the theater out there sometime. And Cade doesn't quite have that yet. But fortunately for everybody in the viewing audience, we have for you a very special guest. This guy is a professional. He runs his own acting course. He has his own acting show. Maybe you've seen it. I'm not entirely sure how familiar you are with it, but I did a little research into his background, and it looked pretty great. To break us down on some of the greatest flopping performances in the NBA, please welcome LeBron James Lipton with Inside the Flopper Studio. LeBron James Lipton, welcome to the Order of the Blazing Horse. Really appreciate you taking the time to be with us, man.
Thanks so much for coming on the pod.
It is okay. I'm in between sessions right now, so it fits in perfectly with my schedule.
Well, perfect. Are you working with any big names at the moment? You were telling us that you've worked with some great names in the past before. So,
oh yes, I heard you guys discussing one of my clients earlier, Brunson. What quite we did some work with that boy. Yeah. So the thing is, huge fan of Stanislavski, that guy. And so if you play the clip, we can show a little bit of what we used to have.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've got the wrong I've got the wrong transition on here. I just had to show your face again one more time, LeBron James. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
It's so beautiful. You have such great music playing with you. Okay, so yeah, the clip.
Interesting. So he's a Stanislavski guy, Brunson?
Yes. And you can tell because what asked me this question. What is the biggest part of acting? What do you want to do?
Sell the performance. You want to be believable?
Yeah.
You want to get people to believe you. And
right.
Jalen, if you see as he drives through here, it's not very believable. You see? Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, they called a foul for him on this one, and he barely gets touched. Like Ron, okay, so right here's holding his back, but right here goes straight up the air. Ron just taps him on the back, and he falls over like crazy.
Mm-hmm. Just a little tap on the back. He's trying to tap into his sense memory. You see, some of his yes.
I see.
You know, when you're a little guy like that, you get pushed around a lot as a child, and you know, move over here, son. Move over here, son. And he's trying to tap into that. And so that's what we like to do. We'd like to teach him how to convey that in such a way that the refs believe it. You see.
That's interesting because I feel like Brunson talks a lot about how, you know, his dad played Rick Brunson. He coaches him now. It seems like he pushed him pretty hard as a kid. Oh, so you're saying he's kind of like drawing from that in this performance?
Absolutely. His father, I feel for Brunson. And the thing about it is we want to harvest all of that pain and bring it to that performance, you see.
Use it.
Yes. I feel bad for Brunson, but when we really get into the nectar of this pain, he's going to be unstoppable, unfloppable.
Well, I think it's super floppable, honestly, is probably the way most floppable. I mean, look at this, just like screaming out like, ah! Like he gets pushed. Pretty wild. Barely touched him. Doesn't really change his motion. Very fortunate. You said you worked with him just somewhat recently. Last year in the playoffs, he took the shot from three in game 3, didn't quite get it the call he wanted. One of the bigger flops of the season. Like look at that face. So what was different about this year as opposed to like last year?
So this year we actually harvested that pain. You remember, I don't know if you've seen the video with Jalen Brunson running up and down the court and his dad yelling. He's playing outside, he's running and shooting, and he's tired. What we did was we somewhat relived that. He came into my studio and I put on a mask.
You played Rick Brunson?
Yes. And I screamed at him and I made him run. And I screamed at him and I made him run. And then we went to the court. And I screamed at him and I made him run. And then came game time, and now he's more effective.
I mean, Mr. Lipton, I feel like the proof is in the pudding. Like the difference from this to the clip we saw of him against the Pistons, it's night and day.
Yes. See, baby touch. Ooh. Huh.
Sells it.
Feel it. Oh, pain.
No, I mean, I'm a Pistons fan, so I'm a little biased, but I can see how it's a lot more believable after your work with him. I can't speak to your methods, but the proof is in the pudding.
Yes, and that pudding is tapioca.
It's a great pudding.
It's got the balls in it. I get it.
Well, okay. My mind is kind of blown here. Who are some other players that you've worked with?
Oh boy. One of my favorites had to have been Mr. Paulie George. I call him Paulie.
Paulie George.
Sounds like you guys are close.
So
we-
Paulie, look at him. Watch.
We saw this. We saw this live and in person at
Yeah.
the game, and Mickey turned to me and is like, "Have you seen Inside the Flopper Studio? Because we gotta get LeBron James Lipton to talk about this. It's so nuts. Because when we saw it, we were positive it's all ball. Now looking at it again, kind of looks like it's all ball.
Look at this. But look how extravagant that Daniel Day-Lewis-esque performance. Look. Now, you
Wow.
remember when you are a child and someone snatches the teddy bear from you? See, this-
I'm not that familiar with that experience, but
You
I can
don't
imagine.
Mhm. Well, but it's happened to Paulie a lot. Before he had a growth spurt late, he was bullied, and so he really tapped into his Meisner. He's a method flopper, see?
A method flopper. I gotcha.
Yes. So once again, I brought him to my studios, and I gave him a teddy bear. It was the very one. I had to make a lot of calls to find that teddy bear. It was the very one who was snatched from his arms, and I snatched it from him.
Well, whatever you're doing, it's working because he got the call. So he's a method guy.
Yes.
Like during timeouts, is he still in character? Is he still thinking about the teddy bear?
I came to say hello to Paul George after the game, and he was still in character.
That's
The
unbelievable.
man is committed
Mm.
to his craft,
That's why.
like no other.
That's why he's got all the knee pads on and stuff under the.
Oh, why do you think he's on the injury report often?
He's just,
The man is committed.
It's part of the bit.
Yes,
Wow.
has to be believable.
my man's more cracked than the Liberty Bell.
Yes. You watch. If you just one out, give me my teddy. No. Get it.
I do see the Daniel Day-Lewis performance. It's very my left Euro step foot in here. I can see it. There will be foul calls.
There will be free throws.
Yeah.
There will.
Right. So what is the name of his teddy bear? And also, how'd you get your hands on his teddy bear?
I'm LeBron James Lipton. I'm the best.
that's very fair.
That's true.
I go by any means necessary to achieve the perform. They pay me a lot of money to do this, you see.
Oh yeah?
Yes. So not always on time.
No.
Right.
But-
Very frustrating, but they do pay me. I go through so many methods. I've had to track down ex-wives of fathers. I've tracked down fathers that they haven't seen.
Wow, that sounds, pretty triggering emotionally. But I mean, I guess I just had no idea there was so much technique that went into flopping.
Oh, absolutely. When's the last time you were triggered emotionally?
I mean, I don't know if we have to get into that
No,
on the
let's
pod,
let's
but
get into it. Why not?
Oh,
I don't know. I mean, I was just home for Thanksgiving. I was staying with my family, and my sister's got this baby now, and I used to be the youngest in the family. Now there's this baby in the mix, and
Mhm.
I don't know. Maybe it's got me feeling like a certain kind of way.
So it's almost like the tension has been turned over to the baby. So you would have issues with turnovers, you see. We want to
This
have
explains
possession inside.
so much.
Well, that's why
So
you're
I
a
would
Pistons
take-
fan.
Yes. I would take you into my studio and make you control the ball, help you pass the ball. We want to share the ball properly,
Would he
Yeah, I can
I can
potentially
see that.
would he potentially
Possession is-
cradle it like a baby?
Would I?
Would he the ball? Would you be cradling the ball like a baby when you pass it off to Mickey?
No. What I would have him do is pass the ball. Some players will shoot the ball 50 times. Greedy. That's what I'm getting from Mr. Jacobs. He can't shit.
He's not wrong.
Yes.
Ball hog. Okay.
Big time.
Yeah. He wants the ball and he wants to flop and he wants to shoot and he wants to. We've got to pass. There's 4 other brothers on the court because you're probably the only Caucasian on the court.
Probably on a good team. Yeah.
Definitely in your family.
Yeah, no, this is good. I don't know if I could afford your services, but I feel like I could learn a lot from you. If you could do half of what you've done for Paul George for me, I think I'd be better off emotionally and as a floor general.
Absolutely.
Should we go on?
What are some of the other players?
Yeah.
What is that boy's name?
Because you've been working with some stars, but I was wondering if you had like any role players.
Mm-hmm.
That boy has his name. There should be a K in there, but Nick, is it? No, Cade, is it? What?
No, we got to get Cade. We need Cade to work with you as a whole.
What's that boy's name? I forgot his name.
Oh, you tell me the clip. It's Taurean Prince.
Oh, Prince. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Taurean. I thought I was thinking of another client. Yes.
You work with a lot of players. I can see how you might get confused.
You work with Joe Biden as well?
Well, I've been trying to, but he's unreachable.
Oh, yeah. Have you tried on the ground? He's there a fair share, from what I understand.
I will look into it. But that is a good note. I will check into the ground.
Okay, so who do we have here? Is this
Taurean Prince?
Taurean Prince?
Yeah. Yes. Look at this.
Wow. Because I remember that one. He definitely got bopped, but he really... Wow.
Just flies backwards like Brad Pitt in Snatch.
That's for the cheap seats.
Mm-hmm. Yes, this is definitely a Meissner guy.
Also, imagine interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I may have.
Let me ask you. Like, do you suggest the players to grow their hair out long so when they do flail and flop, it's much exaggerated? Does that help the cause, or is that considered corny on your part?
It does help. This isn't a. Some people like the Carrot Tops of the world for their props because they might add to your performance. It's all about doing it properly. That's really the goal. If you do it poorly, then the hell, you might as well have a bald head. But if you do it well, it can really add just a little whip. As you see those dreadlocks just flip. You feel the whip of the neck, just like that.
I remember Brunson had those too, and I was like, man, if I'd known this, I would have grown my hair out super long when I was playing ball.
Yes, he was sued by Universal because he looked too much like Predators.
Well, Cade had braids early on in the season. He's had braids at various points. Do you think that would help him? Like, what can Cade do? Because he clearly is in need of your services.
Oh, this boy. First thing he's going to need.
He has one of the worst whistles in the NBA for having the most drives to the basket. It's crazy. Yeah. So what would you do with him?
I would have him call his mother.
Okay.
Look, he just falls on the ground like a 2-year-old having a tantrum. Call his mother so she can reassure him, I'm here, son. You see? Let's see. Let's rewind that. Let me see what kind of thought I can
how would he sell this contact into more of a flop to guarantee a call? Because he hits the ground.
Mm-hmm. Now, yes, I can
see how
I would get
talking to his mom.
Yes. So I'd get his mother. Then I will track down his father. I don't know where his father is. They might be together. But I would make it seem like he was leaving. You see how it falls as a 3-0 reaching? No!
So you think
No.
triggering an emotional response is going to get him to be more believable?
Yes. This is
Wow.
all about beliefs. We have to transmit this to the referees. If the referees can feel sad for the boy, they have no choice but to blow the whistle.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Bring that kid his mother back.
So Cade,
That kid some French fries.
well, Cade is a vegan, right? So maybe the thought of killing animals would be bad for him. Is that fair?
Oh, I did not know the boy was a vegan.
He's a big
Could use
vegan.
that.
Vegans come big now.
Yes, yes. I would, I would slaughter a pig in front of him.
Oh my god.
Wow.
We have to get that memory burned into his eyes.
Maker and creator of the devil, swine merchant.
Anytime he sees, yes.
I'm impressed, Mr. Lipton. Between tracking down potentially estranged relatives, recovering childhood teddy bears, and you're slaughtering livestock. It just seems like you're willing to do whatever it takes to get the best out of these guys and really make them flop with in a way that works.
Mm-hmm. That's why they call me Flapjack.
It has nothing to do with pancakes at all.
No.
Okay.
Flip flop.
Where did you realize you had a talent for the craft? At what age, at like what point in your life did you realize like this was your reason for being, raison d'être, as they say?
Yeah. No, bless you. I was walking through a parking lot one day. I was maybe 16, and a car whizzed past me, and it was so close. I thought I felt it nick my shoulder, and it brought me back to times in my brain. I thought that my brother was punching me, not turn, and the car hit the brakes. See, once they hit the brakes, they got out, and this poor Latino woman got out and said, "I'm sorry. Did I hit you?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "We'll give you $100 if you don't say anything." That's when I knew.
So you committed fraud, and that's sort of what started the whole flopping journey?
What is fraud, Mickey?
Whoa.
It's an act.
I guess
It's pretend.
It is an act.
it's
But
acting.
it believed that the action took place. Is it fraud? She knew she was in the wrong, driving in the parking lot, speeding, just like the defenders know they're playing too rough. Now I'm just going to accentuate your bad behavior and make you change it.
Why did you shift to basketball? Because I mean, from the sounds of it, you could have got away with suing people on the streets, or like maybe the classic slip and fall in the grocery store. You could have gone down the Better Call Saul path, as it were, but instead, you went from Saul Goodman to I don't know, the NBA
LeBron James Lipton.
LeBron James Lipton. That's right.
Yeah. Suing people in the streets is less glamorous. And
I get that.
something about the sound of that ball bouncing.
Sneakers on the hardwood.
Speakers on the hardwood, crowd. I like the bigger the audience. You see, when you slip and fall, it's 1, 2, 3 people maybe. But when you flop in a game, you have 10 people on the court. Then you've got your 3 referees. And then you've got the players on both benches. And then you look up, 20,000 people in the stands. And then you see a camera. And the camera's broadcasting to the world. Oh,
It is the biggest stage.
it is.
Are there any players that you want to work with in particular, or is there anybody who's on your eye?
Ooh, anyone who's on my eye. I would love to work with Jokic, but he won't move. The boy's too solid. He's
He's built like a horse.
He is built like a horse, and that's not just me saying that.
No, he built like a horse. He loves horses. He's a horse kind of guy.
I've seen some movies though, like Blazing Saddles, where horses are trained to fall. You could teach him that technique. You could convince him, be like, listen, I've worked with horses on the camera. Maybe we can work with you in this whole world. Him and his horses could be practicing flopping at the same time. Wouldn't that be a fun video? Jokic and his horses working on the fake fall. That's a sell.
It could be very interesting. I just trying to trigger an emotional response from somebody who's very dead inside is very difficult.
I get that.
Man,
as someone who's sort of dead inside myself, I understand.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He has no emotions, and so I think people who would be very interesting to work with as Scottie Pippen Jr.
In Memphis.
Oh baby, the trauma the boy.
I think if you were to contact his parents, you might have to be a little careful there.
Oh yes, I will be very, but it'll be for the best.
Contacting Larsa Pippen will be for the best.
Say less. Okay.
Well, LeBron James, LeBron James Lipton, I should say. We really appreciate you being here and sharing your time with us, man. I know you've got a super busy schedule, and I know you've got a lot on your plate. Do you have anything you want to promote while you're here aside from your program?
No, I will be selling Doritos at the All-Star game this year. Just to kind of make a few extra dollars for the children. I'm starting a children's program where I will be teaching them to flop early. So,
nice.
If you
smart. Get them while they're young.
Yes. Not too young now. And
right.
I don't like get 'em. I don't like the get 'em part. That makes me feel too much like a bad boy, if you know what I mean.
So you mean you want to like groom them into being good floppers is what you're trying to say?
Yes. Another word we need to be careful with is groom. As we know, these rappers have been in trouble. Certain things, and
coming up. Well, put me down for a few bags of Doritos.
A couple of rappers have laid out the blueprint to how that works.
Yes, yes, no pun intended. And these bad boys and like to rock fellas, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. They've been known to take that.
They have been known to take that, and too soon. They've been taking it too soon. They haven't been awesome.
That's why they're public enemy number one.
You are not wrong. You are not wrong.
What a freaking tangent to go on here. But, I know you work with this acting professional. He's also a comedian, Stephen AJ. Do you want to promote any of his work? I know he's somebody you've worked with closely in the past.
Oh no, the nigga's busy eating assholes. He's unreachable too. But if he comes reachable, he will promote something at that time. But at this current point in time, he's off the books.
Preoccupied.
Well, in the meantime, look for him at StephenAJ1 at Instagram, and check out, as you know, the show we were just promoting, Inside the Flopper Studio. LeBron James Lipton, thank you so much for being on the program, and hopefully we'll get you back on sometime.
Oh, thank you, gentlemen, and I look forward to it.
All right. Such a pleasure.
Wow.
That was something else. Do you think we can get Cade to work with him?
I hope so. I am so glad that LeBron James Lipton was able to come talk to us. I appreciate him flopping by and giving a little insights.
You heard him. If you're at the All-Star game this year, buy Doritos from that man. He could use the help for the kids. It's for the kids.
I'm down for a couple bags of Cool Ranch always for the kids.
Mm-hmm. Oops.
So I was just thinking about what he was saying about Cade. I think a lot of what he said was good, but I wonder if there's anything you and I could do.
I know there is. We have been talking about it for a while now because you and I have been complaining about Cade's whistle since jump. It's garbage.
It's bad.
He's been slapped in the face in games. He's been held down in games. He's not getting the calls. It's trash, and it's not on him. I'm so sick of it being on him at this point. It's on the refs because, players don't get fouled and they still get the fouls called. He's getting fouled and he doesn't get the fouls called. So the refs need to make a change. Wake up. Notice it's him. He's an all-star. He will be an all-star this year, and he's guaranteed to be an all-star if you give him some free throws. So maybe we can entice the referees. What do you think about that?
I think it's worth a shot.
You got a plan?
Well, I thought that what we could do, we were talking about this, is you get more flies with honey than you do vinegar. And, we thought that we could send the referees whatever Michigan's version of honey is. So,
little gift baskets.
What do we got here?
Little gift baskets for the refs.
Gift basket. What do you got? What's the first thing you're going to send the refs to try and get Cade a better whistle?
Okay. So, I got to go over and grab this real quick.
Yeah. Get your stuff.
When you get drafted in Detroit, when you do something big in Detroit, you know that you're in Detroit having a good time. You're a Detroit person. Detroit's showing you love when you're rocking the Cartier buff glasses. So, of course, we had to get the refs some Cartier buffs. I dropped mad coin on these. Big coin on these. And these are special buffs. On top of these are special buffs because refs, when we send them to you, you can let me know. I'll make sure that they've got your prescriptions in there so you can
prescription buffs.
Prescription buffs.
Wow.
So they can better see the calls that they're not making on Cade Cunningham.
Wow. Well, you're not messing around. I wanted to get some stuff too. I definitely didn't drop that much cash. But
oops, sorry, Vicky, I just messed you up there a little bit. I've got this wrong transition on here.
I could look at his face all day long.
There will be editing done at the.
I say leave it. So it's cold in Michigan. I can attest. I was just there. You're there now. It's frigid. I thought I would throw in Carhartt Michigan brand beanie. You're gonna need it. So give us a whistle. It's going in the package. What's next, Harry?
Sorry, I had to get up to get what was next. You got him the beanie because it's cold. And they're right. It is cold. It is freezing friggin' cold in the D. There's even a song about it. It's so cold in the D. Maybe you're familiar. I don't know. You should check it out. And for that, when you're walking to and from LCA, you can always wear a pair of gloves for your little hands. I was going to get you mittens because Michigan is the mitten, right? But instead, I wanted to make sure that you had gloves so you could use your fingers to coin up 2 fingers to indicate that Cade is getting 2 free throws on a regular basis. I want 2 free throws with these gloves, keeping your hands warm because it is so cold in the D. Thank you so much. Mickey, what you got?
Okay, so, we want them to be comfortable, but we also want them to experience, like some of what Michigan has to offer in terms of culinary delicacies. And I could think of nothing more fitting than a Coney Island chili dog. So I'm going to go ahead and just throw that in the package there along with the beanie and see how they like that. I think it's shelf stable.
Super stable. And there's no better thing to wash down the Michigan Coney dog with than Michigan's finest Vernors. Same color as the gloves, I might add. Vernors. Same color as St. Cecilia's City Edition jerseys a couple years back. So you can take this down, clear up your throat, get your throat all ready when Cade Cunningham is coming there so you can blow the whistle for him pretty well. How about you, Mickey? What do you got for the next one?
Let's infuse a little bit of Michigan culture. A little Motown record. We got a Marvin Gaye classic here. Ain't too proud to beg. Because I'm not too proud to beg for a better whistle for Cade. So in the package it goes with the Coney. Boom.
That's a pretty good. It's a pretty good one. As you can see, I also have a little Motown record. This is the original soundtrack from TCB with Diana Ross and the Supremes and the Temptations as well. And part of the reason I got this one is because this one has great songs on it, songs that the referees might be familiar with, including "Respect." Maybe "Respect" is good for them. And then another one. I know it's. Respect Cade's game is what I was implying there. Yeah. And where is the other one? I know it's on here. My Lord. Oh, this one's got Ain't Too Proud to Beg on there. You have Ain't Too Proud to Beg on yours as well? Oh, my fault. So, yeah, Ain't Too Proud to Beg. And you got Can I Get a Witness?
Can I get a witness to all of the fouls that are happening and are not getting called on Cade? I botched that.
It's all good. Do you have anything else? Because I'm out here.
It is Can I Get a Witness? And there's only a little bit of mustard on it now, so it's fine. It's going to be fine. Yeah, I just got, the cold weather. It really is something. So you're going to get chapped out there, and I want those lips taut and moist for blowing that whistle, okay? So we got some Burt's Bees. That's my good stuff. Into the package with the hat, the record, the coney. I mean, come on. What do you want? You got anything else, Harry? Or is that it?
That's all I got, and that's enough. We gave them more than they give Cade Cunningham on a regular night. Like, that's a lot of stuff. So we're gonna send it to the refs PO box, refs everywhere. That's your stuff. When you come to Detroit, when you're making calls in Detroit, and when you're even out at away games, and Cade is on the floor, give the man some respect. We're not too proud to beg. We need that witness. We're here for it. Give him the foul calls. Get those free throw numbers up. Treat him like the star that he is. I think that about covers it for the day. Mickey, we've got a big game tonight against the Celtics. Do you have any predictions for the game?
I'm feeling good. I actually think I'm going to say I think we're going to win the game. I think we're going to win the game. I think Cade will at least have a double-double. I'm riding your prediction. Yeah, again, I really hope things work out with Duren, and I hope he's healthy soon. But the rebounds lately haven't even been that high, So hopefully between Paul Reed, Cade, Asar, Tobias, he's been great on the boards. We can outboard them.
That'll be nice. I will say,
what about you?
In the games that we've played them so far this year, we've only had over 2 games. We've only had one player get double-digit rebounds, and that was Tobias Harris in the first game with 11. So I would love them to finally win the boards in this situation. It'd be really nice. So I think they will. I think my predictions are that Beef Stew is going to get a double-double. His minutes are going to be up. I think it's important for him to do so and to really show out. I think Ivy will show up to play. I think he'll get 20. I think Beasley will get 20. And I think Cade is going to have 3 blocks today. That'll be my last prediction. Do I think they win? Yeah, I think they win. I think they're feeling it.
I love it.
I think they're rested. I love this team. And you know me, I'm just ready to watch my guy Asar do some serious defense.
Yes.
And contain
Lock
Brown.
up JB.
Yeah. Let's
Peyton Pritchard do it.
Let's make it happen.
Or Derek White.
So,
or Drew Holiday.
With all of them, whoever, any of them, just put them in a box. Put them in the gift box.
Yes. Box them up.
Is.
Send them to the refs.
So hopefully we enjoyed the game tonight. Hopefully these predictions come true, and we'll see you next week. Back on Thursday. Back at our usual time. I'm Harry. Oh, and of course, hit the like button. Subscribe. Follow us.
Ring that bell for notification.
Yeah, that's right. Get the notifications on. And rate us. We love ratings. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Pods. We're on Podbean. TikTok. YouTube,
Instagram.
IG.
All the socials.
Blue Sky. Blue Sky. OOBH, the new sky, the blue sky. We're on all that stuff. So give us likes. Give us follows. Just pay attention. We're here for you. We're doing the dirty work. We're bringing
Not too proud to beg.
we really ain't. Let's keep it up. If we had music rights, I'd play that music right now. I am tempted to do so, and we're here. We're here, and we leave the same way we do every week on this podcast, and that's. As the final buzzer sounded on the Pistons' 2023 season, two die-hard fans, Mickey and Harry, each passed out and witnessed a vision. They were visited by Detroit's very own mascot, Hooper, the stallion ablaze, who told them the only way the Pistons would ever win a championship again was if these two men started a podcast. To be clear, they said, do we really have to do this? I mean, aren't there enough Pistons podcasts already? It seems like this might be overkill. But Hooper dunked on them, right in their face, and said, your team needs you. He presented them with a prophecy. Now it is their duty to help Detroit rise again and become champions. The Order of the Blazing Horse.